Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Naturally Mar. Today we're going to be reviewing Put a Ring on It, Season 2, Episode 6. Before we start, please hit that like button. Also, of course, hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that you can get instant alerts when I drop a new video. So the episode starts with Alexia explaining that she does not want to go out on another date with Darian, and that she's basically annoyed with Darian and the multiple dates that he's going out with Kai, and about him saying trust the process. Dr. Nicole basically addresses everyone and says that you're here to learn and to grow so that you can know how to move, and says to Darian and Alexia, like, this is a two-person conversation. So your problems didn't just start here, and they didn't start with Kai. So they need to be able to have the convo to start getting the work done on the relationship. So LaRonda, Sean, and Eric are going out on new dates, and Alexia and Jessica are going out on second dates, and Darian has no date this week. So we see Jessica and Sean's date, and he arrives with a rose. Eric is basically questioning him, saying, so what are you going to do with her? He says, friends, go with the flow. Eric is in his feelings this time. Next, we see LaRonda and Sean. LaRonda is over having dates. She wants to talk about communication with Sean. And Sean wants to be more proactive with communication. LaRonda says, she's very spontaneous. And LaRonda says that she wants him to fight fair. Feels that her way of fighting is more toxic. And she feels like she's not being heard. And when she is, telling him what's going on, he's telling her that she's lying in the moment. So LaRonda's date, Derek, arrives. Sean goes down to greet him. He doesn't invite him up, though, because since there's tension between the two of him, he didn't feel that he should invite her date upstairs. So we see LaRonda's date with Derek. He's 42 years old, and he's a sales executive. They both basically have the same type of work, so they can vibe on that. They talk about children, and she asked him if he would want more kids, and he seems positive about that. But she does state that she's never really been into, not to him, but she says that she's never really been into older men. So I'm not too sure how much she's really feeling this thing with Derek. So we'll see where it goes. So next we see Dr. Nicole and Alexia. Now, they're meeting because she says that Darian doesn't let her talk. Dr. Nicole says it seems like she's actually lost her voice in this relationship. She goes on to talk, Alexia goes on to talk about how, him having the 3 kids, quote unquote, on their off time, hurt her, and she had started blaming herself that the reason why he ended up having kids with other people is because she was always away when she was playing basketball, and that was part of the reason why she ended up retiring. Now Dr. Nicole lets her know that basically she's let the loudest voice in the room, which is Darian, control the narrative of the relationship. And she needs to be able to re-enter this conversation with Darian and find her voice again. All right, now we have Eric and his date. I think her name is Lalani. I think. She's from Panama, and we learn in this episode, that Eric also has a child. He has a son that is 13. how are we now just finding out about these children? Now, Eric seems to like Leilani's vibe, and the conversation, I guess, seems to flow. And um, they talk about her marriage, and how it grew apart, and that she's not in a rush to get married again. And Eric says that he could give her his time. Well, Eric seems to really be flirting with Lonnie, I think. Um, we'll see. Well, surprise, surprise, Alexia and Darian go out on a date. She says that she's tired of the yelling and that they need to get rid of the condo. She wants better communication. He feels that her friends are making him feel uncomfortable. Basically, her male friends that she has makes him feel uncomfortable, that they're liking her, her posts, I guess, on Instagram, or giving her heart eyes, and he feels a way about that. And he wants her to cut them off. And she says no, and maybe she'll think about it if they get rid of the condo. Alexia, the condo isn't the problem. The problem is Darian. I don't know what to tell you. The problem is Darian. Alexia's date with Monty, he asked her, why do you want to go on a second date with me? And she says, I just thought you were cool. And, Monty feels that they have, a little bit of a connection. And, he says that he used to be in a hip hop group. And of course, Alexia rolls her eyes. Instead, of course, mentions that her partner, Darian, was a part of a group as well. Monty says that she may need to move on and let him know if that happens. He's really liking Alexia. Next, we see Jessica and Sean, and they go out on a hike. More like they went for a walk in a park. And he says that he's not looking for a relationship. He's basically just expecting the person to fall in his lap, more or less. And he seems kind of corny. Sean tells her that he likes her and says he sees her and he would love to spend more time with her. Jessica says that she doesn't get that all from Eric, and she's very pleased with Sean right now. She's very flattered, I would say. She said told him, basically to give her time to decide. Sean's date was with Tari. She's 34, fashion model. They go to do yoga. And Tari said that, she came from Cali. And they seem to have he claims, or he thinks that they seem to have a real strong connection or vibe. Sean seems to always have these things where he goes on dates, he instantly connects, and then he shies away from the connection. So we'll see. So everybody meets back with Dr. Nicole. We start with Alexia. She says that her date was cool. She feels that she would like to see more actually listening from Darian, and that she feels that he started to change. Nah, he ain't changed. And she feels that he started to change after they talked. And they actually talked about getting rid of the condo. Dr. Nicole asked, do you think the condo is the real issue? And Alexia seems to think that it's one of the major issues in their relationship. Now, Alexia says that she doesn't want a third date, that she's not really physically attracted to Monty, and Darian doesn't want a fifth date with Kai. Dr. Nicole tells him that says that he needs to meet up with her, up with Kai to explain his shift and to give her closure. Now, Jessica talks about her date, liking her and acknowledging that she can communicate. Eric seems that he doesn't have any problem with that, and he says that he would like her to bring that communication home. Well, she feels that she is open to communicate, but it doesn't seem like it's, she doesn't like being interrogated by Eric. Eric, for some reason, doesn't understand why his lack of trust is a problem and how interrogating somebody is a problem. You know, Dr. Nicole was trying to explain to Eric that, there's a difference between talking to someone and interrogation. That if that's a problem, there's something that's going on with you and not the other person if your method is to interrogate. Eric says that his date was enjoyable. He found Lalani pretty and says that she answered all of his questions. Dr. Nicole is saying that, Jessica and Eric are doing the same things to each other in terms of the tit for tat behavior that they keep going at with the lack of trust. And they both actually choose to go out on another date. I think maybe out of a little pettiness, they both decide to go on another date. LaRonda also chose to go out on a second date just because she said that her date with Derek, they were kind of short on time. So she would like to explore that more. So Sean says that the date that he had with Tari, that he was attracted and that he likes Tari, but he chooses LaRonda. Dr. Nicole, says that all of his dates are the same, which I agree. It's great that he chooses LaRonda, but when it's a choice not based on fear. So if he moves forward, you may not choose her. Like you have a fear of making that choice. He's trying to stop the natural progression because he's afraid. I agree with you, Dr. Nicole. So next episode seems like it's going to be a little spicy when Darian meets Kai. So we'll see. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you next time.